Okay, it's story time, guys. You know I love to tell my stories, right? Okay, so this guy came in and he was kind of big guy, like a little bit muscle guy, but more on the chubby side, but he had kind of muscles. He was older, dressed casual, nothing special, not bad looking, but he was holly. So he walked up to me. He said, "Hey, can I look at the Ray-Bans and the cologne and whatnot?" Right? Okay. I said, "Okay, sure." So I got the thing, the key, and I walked over to the display case for the Ray-Bans. I helped him pick a Ray-Ban. Okay. And I was asking him, "Would you like me to put that on the side for you?" Because I asked him if he was going to purchase the Ray-Bans that I showed him. And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Would you like me to put that on the side for you?" He's like, "No, I'm going to purchase it." I said, "Yes, sir. Would you like me to put it on the side for you?" He's like, oh, yeah, sure. I thought you were gonna say that you were gonna put it back in the case, in the display. So we got that. Then he got another pair of Ray-Bans, okay? So I put that on the side. Then I walked over to the cologne. And so right when we were walking over to the cologne, he was over there waiting for me already. And right when we were walking over, I was walking over, this one chick came in, okay, this black girl. She came into the store. And she walked past him and she looked at him and she was like pointing to the Creed. Okay, I think it's a twisted something. It's a green one, okay. So he's like, "Which one?" Because he wanted to smell some, right? And so she was like, right there, that green one right there, that Creed, okay? And right after her, there was another black girl that came in walking behind her, okay? And I can see what's going on through my peripherals. So the girl that came in after her, she walked around the table because we were kind of blocking that pathway around the other side of the table. But the first girl that spoke to the guy, she already had walked past me, okay? So I go to the case, I open it, and he smells a couple colognes, different ones, and then he's like, "Oh, what's that?" And I said, "Oh, that's Creed." He's like, "Oh, okay." I said, "You want it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get it." And I was gonna ask him if he was gonna buy it, okay? But I just wanted to see, okay? But I knew I wasn't gonna let him buy it. I was gonna wait till the end before I actually complete the room charge, and I'm just gonna say to him, okay? I'm just gonna say to him. I already made up in my mind how I was gonna tell him in the end before I finish the transaction, okay? So he picks two colognes, okay? He picks I think it was Dolce and Gabbana, I think so, and then it was the Creed. So I walk over, and I asked him, "Okay, what are you gonna do? Cash, card, or room charge, or such and such?" He goes, "I'm gonna do a room charge." He goes, "Hold on, I'm gonna grab something else." He has a Starbucks coffee and a Nestle Toll House ice cream sandwich, and he's eating it already, okay? So I'm scanning his things, okay? So I asked him for his credentials, okay, and his information. So he slides over his ID and his card, the little book that holds your key card that they give you, and they write it down for you. Some guests, they don't mind, most guests, they don't mind saying it out loud, but some guests will slide their thing, so nobody can really see it but you. All right, so he kind of holds that. I'm like, okay. So I start doing that now because it is a significant amount. His total came out to about 1,600, almost 1,600. Okay, so I have to follow process. I have to get approvals and whatnot. So I start getting the approvals, okay? And so he's waiting. And then he's looking at the thing. Okay, I see him. He's looking at the thing, the credit card thing, it shows you how much your total is. So he comes over, he goes, wait, what cologne is that? How much is that? So I hang up the phone. And I said, sir, that's like $800. Okay. He said, wait, what? I said, yeah, I wasn't gonna let you really get away with it. I was gonna say something to you if you're sure before I finish the transaction. I promise I was gonna say something, but I was kind of being very observant at the same time, okay? So I said, those girls, I said, when that girl walked in, she was clocking you because she saw you standing at the cologne. Her friend walked in behind her and was looking at us. I said, I was looking at you and waiting for you, but I was paying attention to what was going on. I said, she pointed to the Creed because she knows how much that is. That is one of our most expensive colognes that we have in here. Okay? And I said, she was clocking you and watching you to see if you were going to do it. All right? So he comes and I said, I'm going to remove it. He said, please do. Okay? So I took it off, voided everything. I got the approval for, I called back and I started another second process of getting approvals. Okay? And so they asked to speak to him, what such not, whatever, and it was approved. Okay? So, did I say that they left? No, they didn't leave yet. Okay? So I started telling him about the girls, right? And he was walking away. I said, okay, sir, I said, you gotta watch out. And then he's like, he said, oh yeah, the girls stopped him as he was walking out. And he's like, I heard him say, no, whatever. And he was talking to them and he was saying no to them. So he looked at me and he goes, oh yeah, he comes back to my counter and he says, yeah, those girls just asked me if I wanted to hang out with them. I said, I told you. I told you. I walked around the corner and I looked at him and I said, you know what? I said, the girls that are in here, they're not prostitutes like they were before. It's not like they were before. And I said, look up an incident that happened in May 2023. Okay. And he said, what? And I explained to him what happened, that a guy got shot, okay? Because the two girls hustled him. And he was young. 27 years old, from Nicaragua. He wanted to go on like a little, asylum or something. Like he needed a rest, okay, from I guess his everyday life in his country. So he came to Vegas to blow his mind. Well, guess what? Brother got blown in the chest, okay, and they stole his wallet. Only his wallet. Anyhow, they're in jail right now. But, and he said to them, I said, what? Okay, so he said, oh yeah, they just asked me if I wanted to hang out with them. And I said, see, I told you. And I said, what did you say to them? He goes, I told him, well, in my line of work, you wouldn't want me to be hanging out with you. So I said, oh, okay, I get it. I know you're working for some, the govies. So anyways, I said, yeah, you gotta watch out. They hustlers over here. But maybe he was, he could have been, now listen to this. He could have been a secret shopper. He could have been just a regular guest. He could have been undercover. He could have been, you know what I mean? You never know. You never know who you can run into and who you can come across, especially in the industry in Las Vegas, okay? You never know, because they do operations over here. It seems free and all that, but you never know who you're talking to. Never know. I believe in educating our guests, so I don't mind telling about things like that.